Hi, I'm Ellie, and this is your UK Theatre News Recap, the show where I take all of the theatre news from the past 2 weeks and I give it to you in the only way I know how, chaotically. Yes, if you didn't see, I'm trying something out I've been trying out through February and it's continuing now into March, where I'm seeing how we feel about doing theatre news every 2 weeks instead of weekly. Very open to feedback on how you feel about this. Obviously, it allows more variety on the channel. It also means that these recaps are a little bit longer, a little bit heftier, so any and all feedback is appreciated. But these past 2 weeks, there's been a lot of news. We're gonna get into it. So if you want to stay up to date with UK theatre news, make sure you hit like and subscribe because I do these every single other week. I'm gonna have to change that intro. It's not as catchy. Every fortnight? I guess that could work. Anyway, I'll sort it out for next week. But let's start, as we always do, with our casting news. First up, Starlight Express. We have some new skaters joining the rink. It's not really a rink, but anyway, we have some new skaters joining the arena for Starlight Express. Now, we've got this news quite early, which I'm assuming is because these guys have got to go through, like, the skate school. There's a lot of training that goes into Starlight Express. You got to be able to skate. You got to skate around. And most of the time, they like to cast people who have never skated before in their lives. So, that's a long rehearsal period. So, from the 11th of June 2025, we will have a new cast in Starlight Express. And they are Gavin Adams, who will be our new Rusty, Sophie Naglick, who is our new Pearl, Olivia Ringrose, who is our new Greaseball, Asher Forth, who is our new Electra, and Georgia Pemberton, who is our new Diana. Staying with the cast will be Jade Marvin as Mama McCoy, and Jaden Vinge as Hydra. We also have all of our new ensemble members and our continuing ensemble members, where the description down below, as always. But very exciting. I feel like, when this cast comes in, I am due a revisit to Starlight Express. Now that I know a little bit more about Starlight Express, I don't know what I'm getting myself in for, I wonder how I'm going to feel about it. And along with this news, they have announced that they have extended into March next year. So you've got even longer to be able to go and catch Starlight Express at the Troubadour Wembley Park Theatre. Next up, we have the cast announced for an adaptation of the Da Vinci Code. This is a collaboration with the Mercury Theatre in Colchester and Wiltshire Creative, and will be playing at the Mercury Theatre Colchester and at the Salisbury Playhouse later this year. By later this year, I mean April and May. But starring in this production will be Sherry Baines, Joe Bannister, Philip Breverton, Richard Clues, Joshua Griffin, Georgia May Myers, Louise May Newbury, Antonia Fogbew, and Joe Pitts. If you would like to catch this production of the Da Vinci Code, it will be playing at the Salisbury Playhouse from the 10th of April to the 3rd of May, and will then go to the Mercury Theatre Colchester from the 7th to the 24th of May. I will hopefully have some time to catch it at the Mercury Theatre Colchester. That is one theatre that is quite local to me, and I love visiting it. It's a lovely theatre. So if you're near either of those venues, make sure you catch it there. Next, we've got some casting announced for Ralph Fiennes' Bath season. I don't know why I wrote it like that. It just sounds like Ralph Fiennes is going to be having a lovely bath, but actually he is taking over the Theatre Royal Bath for a season. Although a Ralph Fiennes Bed Bath Body Works collab, when? There will be 3 shows as part of this season, all of which Ralph Fiennes will either be in or be directing. So get ready for me to say Ralph Fiennes a lot. The first in the season is a premiere of a new play, Grace Pervades. This will be playing at the Theatre Royal Bath from Friday the 27th of June to Saturday the 19th of July this year. This will see Ralph Fiennes play opposite Miranda Ryson, and there is a full casting announcement in the description down below. The next show in the season is As You Like It, which is obviously the classic Shakespeare comedy. This is the piece that is being directed by Ralph Fiennes, and the initial casting announced for this production includes Harriet Walter and Gloria Obieno. This runs at the Theatre Royal Bath from Friday the 15th of August to Saturday the 6th of September, and the final production in the season is Small Hotel, which will star Ralph Fiennes. Currently, that is all the casting we know. We know he is in it, we know nobody else, but we do have dates, however, as this will play at the theatre from Friday the 3rd of October to Saturday 18th of October. So if you are near Bath and you really like Ralph Fiennes, this is your lucky day. Get ready. The rest of the year, you're going to be very happy about it because you've got many chances to go and see him or go and see his work or go and see things he's directed because he's here. He's there. He's doing things and he's here for you. Next up, we have the cast announced for A Matter of Life and Death. This is a stage adaptation which will be running at the New Vic Theatre, which I think is in Newcastle, but I haven't written that down, so I need to Google it. Yes, it is. It is in Newcastle. Oh, it's in the Round. That's exciting. I love a theatre in the Round. This will star a 16-person cast alongside a 10-piece swing band. And the cast are as follows. We have Alexander Bean, Morgan Burgess, Kayla Copeland, Thomas Dennis, Howard Gray, who is going to be the show's musical director, Jack Hayden, Michael Hugo, Jessica Jollies, Polly Lister, Sophia Mania, Jenny Murphy, Elliot Parchment Morrison, which is a great name, damn, Luke Thornton, and Lucy Wells. So a lot of these are in the cast and also doubling up as musicians as well. Very interesting to see. This production will be running at the New Vic Theatre in Newcastle from the 28th of March to the 19th of April. So it opens like in 2 weeks. Wow. So make sure you get your tickets if you are near Newcastle. Lovely in the Round Theatre. We love that. Next up, we're going all the way from Newcastle to Wales. Specifically, Mould Wales, where we have the casting announced for Tick, Tick, Boom. This is the first staging we've seen in a while for this musical in the UK. And starring in this Jonathan Larson penned musical will be Ryan Owen, who will play John Ethan Larson. Yes, it's based on his life, if you're unaware. Christina Modestu, who will play Susan, and Tarek Frimpong, who will play Michael. This runs in Wales from the 2nd to the 28th of June. So if you are near, you have to go and catch it, because I probably can't. And that upsets me and annoys me because I really want to go. I love this musical with all my heart. I would love to go to Wales. That sounds like fun, but I can't because I'm poor. So please rub it in my face if you are going and book your tickets if you live near. Next up, we have the cast for Moulin Rouge, not in London. This is the tour, the international tour, which has announced a lot of different UK dates, which we have covered, including Edinburgh. It's going to Manchester. There's so many. There's a lot. I've already said them in previous news recaps. I'm not saying them again. But what I will say this time is the cast. Going on tour with the Moulin Rouge will be Verity Thompson playing Satine, Nate Landstronger, who will be playing Christian, Cameron Blakely, who will be playing Harold Zegler, which I would like to just say here, I cannot believe he has not played Harold Zegler yet. I know he's been busy with like Adams and then he was in Doubtfire, but like that is the casting for Harold Zegler. Like, if you had told me when Moulin Rouge first coming over, who is the person you think will play Harold Zegler, I'm like, Cameron Blakely. Cameron Blakely is absolutely that role. Cameron Blakely is just hands down that role. Like, there is no argument. There is no fight about it. He is Harold Zegler. He is absolutely Harold Zegler. Can't believe this has taken this many years, but very glad to see it happening, finally. We have Kurt Kansley, who is playing Lautrec. German Santiago, who is playing Santiago. Perfect. James Bryars, who is the Duke. Kalia Davies, who is Nini. Summer Priest, who is Arabia. Scott Sutcliffe, who is playing Baby Doll. Ellie Jane Grant, who is La Chocolat. And Patrice Topoki, who is our alternate Satine. We also have a full ensemble who are where? The description down below. Very exciting. We love to see a new cast of Moulin Rouge. If you are around the UK, make sure you check those tour stops to see if it's coming anywhere near you. Heading back into the West End. Have we said any West End ones so far? I don't know. Are we heading back into the West End? I mean, technically, Starlight Express is London, but not the West End. This is the first West End one for this episode. Yay! Heading into the West End now, we have 2 further cast members announced for Deep Blue Sea. This is a play going to the Theatre Royal Haymarket from Wednesday the 7th of May to Saturday the 21st of June. So, previously announced, we have Tamsin Craig, Nicholas Farrell, and Finbar Lynch, who are all transferring with this production from the Theatre Royal Bath. But joining them will be Hadley Fraser and Selena Cadell. So, if the cast sounds interesting to you, if the play sounds interesting to you, you can catch it from the 7th of May until the 21st of June in the West End's Theatre Royal Haymarket, going from one Theatre Royal to another. Yay! I know we just dipped our toes into the West End, but let's undip them, because now we have to go to the Kiln Theatre, which is off West End, where we have the cast for Shanghai Dolls announced. This will be playing at the Kiln Theatre from the 3rd of April to the 10th of May, and will star Gabby Wong and Millicent Wong. In this new play telling the untold story of two of the most influential women in Chinese history during the Cultural Revolution. This sounds thoroughly interesting, actually. I've really got to grab some tickets, actually. That sounds really cool. So if you are as intrigued as me, make sure you grab your tickets and go to the Kiln. I've not been to the Kiln since they did Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York, and I feel like I'm overdue another trip there, so maybe this is the one. Once again, 3rd of April to the 10th of May. That is the correct dates. I hope I said them right both times. 3rd of April, 10th of May. Next, we have two casting announcements from the RSC. The first is Much Ado About Nothing. This is a new version of the classic romantic comedy by Shakespeare that is being directed by Michael Longhurst, which you may know him from his work at the Donmar Warehouse. A lot of you will probably be familiar with him from his directed production of Next to Normal, which transferred to the West End's Wyndham Theatre last year, and we actually will be speaking about a little bit later. Wink. But this will be playing at the Royal Shakespeare Theatre in Stratford-upon-Avon from the 12th of April to the 24th of May, and will star Daniel Addison as Claudio, Freema Agyeman, my beloved, as Beatrice, amazing casting, Hassan Ahmed as Conrad, Nick Blood as Benedict, Gina Bramehill as Margaret, Nick Cavalier as Verges, Flaminia Cinque, Peter Forbes, Tanya Franks, Lydia Fraser, Olivier Hubbard, Megan Keveney, Nojan Kasai, Antonio Magro, Posi Moracchino, Jay Taylor, Arthur Wilson, and Eleanor Worthington Cox. See, I did mention that Next to Normal would be coming back, as this is reuniting Michael Longhurst as director and Eleanor Worthington Cox, who was in Next to Normal. And saying that, Next to Normal will also come up a little bit later as well. This really is Next to Normal's week, isn't it? So if you want to catch that cast in Much Ado About Nothing, if you saw the Jamie Lloyd version and went, I want more, you can head over to Stratford-upon-Avon from the 12th of April to the 24th of May. Continuing with the RSC news, we have Titus Andronicus. Titus Andronicus. I don't know why that was hard to say. Going from big Shakespeare comedy to one of his bloodiest tragedies. This is being directed by Max Webster, who recently directed the version that we saw in the West End of Macbeth, starring David Tennant, that was also at the Donmar Warehouse. Well, they are really just taking directors from the Donmar Warehouse, huh? This will be running at the Swan Theatre in Stratford-upon-Avon from the 17th of April to the 7th of June. And starring in this production will be Jeremy Ann Jones, Simon Russell Beale, Marlo Chan Reeves, Danny Collins, Ned Costello, Emma Fielding, Joshua James, Natey Jones, Thomas Joslin, Wendy Quay, Joe McCormick, Jerome Marsh Reed, Sharita O'Meara, and Letty Thomas. So if you'd like to catch either of those Shakespeare plays, if you're feeling more romantic comedy, or if you're feeling bloody tragedy, you can pick either or both. Double show day, maybe? I don't know. That sounds like a lot. Next up, we have an extension announced for an Oak Tree alongside some new cast members. This is going to the Young Vic Theatre in London and will now play from the 6th to the 24th of May. This will see writer Tim Crouch star alongside a new performer every single night. And newly announced names for this production include Adjoa Ando, Jessie Buckley, Arthur Darville, Mark Gatiss, Julie Hesmond-Holg, and Alex Lawther. Obviously, we have a couple of those names who I know are returning to this venue. I don't know if there are more returning, but obviously Arthur Darville, you may know him from Doctor Who, he was Rory Williams on that, but he also starred in Oklahoma at that theatre. And obviously Julie Hesmond-Holg is currently starring at that theatre in Punch. What they have also announced is that the artists that you get at each of these performances will be a surprise, so you can't specifically book for a performer you'd like to see, which is a little bit of a shame, but is also quite exciting because you never know, you don't know quite which star is going to walk out onto that stage. So if you'd like to catch this production and catch one of these stars, you can see it from the 6th to the 24th of May this year. There is so much news. We've got like 4 more pieces of casting news and we're still going. We're still trucking along. We have Thanks for Having Me, which will play in London next month at the Riverside Studios. This plays from the 7th to the 26th of April and will star Keeda Williams-Sterling, who you may recognise from Sex Education, Nell Tiger-Free, who you may recognise from Game of Thrones, Keelan Kemba, who is also writing this piece, and finally, Aderinka Akinrinade. So if you would like to catch any of those performers, you can catch them in Thanks for Having Me at the Riverside Studios in Hammersmith, London, from the 7th to the 26th of April. Next up, the Barbican Theatre, where Fiddler on the Roof, which is the most nominated show at the Olivier's this year, will be returning, transferring from the Regent's Park Open Air Theatre. And reprising their roles, specifically their Olivier-nominated roles, when Fiddler returns to London this May, will be Adam Danheiser, Laura Pulver, and Beverly Klein, with further casting to be announced soon. So if you would like to catch these performers, who are all Olivier-nominated this year, you can catch them then. 2 more news stories to go through. We have Shout, the mod musical, which is returning to London this summer with casting revealed now. We have Gabrielle Cummins, Isabella Mason, Lauren Allen, Lauren Bimson, Madeline Doody, and Sophie Ingoldsby. This jukebox musical with a bunch of mod classics will play upstairs at the Gatehouse in London from the 25th of June to the 20th of July 2025. And finally, in casting news this week, we have Giant. This is transferring from the Royal Court Theatre to the Harold Pinter Theatre. It is one of the most nominated plays this year at the Oliviers, and will be playing from the 26th of April to the 2nd of August 2025. Alongside the previously announced cast, we have 2 more cast members who have been announced in the past 2 weeks. We have Aya Cash, who you may recognise from The Boys, who will make her West End debut as Jessie Stone, and Tessa Bonham-Jones, who is returning to the production, playing the role of Hallie. So if you'd like to catch Giant, which I also have to do, I missed it, and I'm getting a lot of FOMO from missing it. This will play at the Harold Pinter Theatre from the 26th of April to the 2nd of August. So you know how I said that was it for casting news? Well, I lied, because there's more. 2 more, in fact. I can't read. This is why I say this is the most chaotic way to get your theatre news, because I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, Chichester Festival Theatre. Now, 3 productions from Chichester have announced their casting. So just for ease of convenience, I'm going to put these on screen. Okay, I'm going to move right over here. First of all, we have their production. I feel like I'm falling backwards. Oh, God. First up, we have the production of Anna Karenina, which is being led by Natalie Dormer, who was previously announced, alongside people like David Oakes, Donna Berlin, Johnny Broadbent, and Les Dennis. And all of these names you can see on screen right now. We also have the Government Inspector, which has announced their casting. We have the previously announced Tom Rosenthal, alongside Joe Dixon, Joe Ear, and Nick Havison. And obviously, the rest of the names you can also see on screen right now. And finally, we have The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry. This is a musical in the season, and honestly, this cast is absolutely wild. I'm sure you're looking at it on screen right now and going, what? Who? What? Because obviously we have Mark Addy and Jenna Russell, who were previously announced, but joining them we have Jack Wolf, we have Taryn Callender, we have Sharon Rose, Ben Redfern, Timbo Tats, but like this cast is Amy Booth Steele as well. Like, this cast is absolutely stacked. Oh Lord, I know absolutely nothing about this musical, but this cast makes me want to somehow find myself going to Chichester. So if you are as interested in me and some of these pieces of casting, you can catch these shows at the Chichester Festival Theatre this year. Check out their website for specific dates. And finally, in casting news this week, we've made it to the other side, we have Evita. It was announced on Friday that star of the film adaptation of West Side Story and Golden Globe winner Rachel Zegler will be starring as Eva Peron in Evita at the London Palladium. This will indeed be her UK stage debut, and this is huge. This is a big casting. Obviously, we've had a lot of rumours over the past couple of weeks about months, literally before they even announced that Evita was coming over, we were hearing rumours about who was playing Eva Peron. There was a lot of names thrown out. Obviously, for a while, they were in talks with Ariana DeBose, but unfortunately, timing didn't quite work out with that. And so they've gone for a different star, a different cast member from the West Side Story film, in Rachel Zegler. This will play at the London Palladium from the 14th of June to the 6th of September. So, if you'd like to catch Evita, and if you'd like to catch Rachel Zegler, you can catch her then. Oh lord, I don't know how short this video is currently, but I've been filming for like 35 minutes. Let's just get through the rest of this news quite quickly. Let's move on to concerts and events. First of all, they have announced the dates for MusicalCon 2025. Which will be returning to the Excel in London on the 18th and the 19th of October 2025. So if you would like a big, flashy, fun weekend of musical theatre, you can head over to the Excel that weekend, the 18th and the 19th of October 2025. As well as that, we have the cast for Austenland, which is playing at the Savoy Theatre, not this Monday, next Monday. Not tomorrow, but the Monday after, the 24th of March. And joining the previously announced Lucy Jones will be Stevenson Adern-Soji, Laura Baldwin, Ollie Higginson, George Ianandez, Cassidy Jansen, Idris Kargbo, Daniel Crickler, and Alex Young. So if you'd like to catch this fun musical workshopping yourself in a concert production, you can head over to the Savoy on the 24th of March. I'm looking at my calendar to make sure that the 24th of March is next Monday. Yes, it is. As well as that, we got some exciting announcements of some solo concerts. Well, I say solo, one's a duet, one's a triplets, trio. The first is that Stevie and Tobias, stars of Mamma Mia and winners of Mamma Mia I Have a Dream, will be performing in a one-off concert in London on Saturday the 10th of May 2025. This will be called Stevie Doc and Tobias Turley, Here We Go Again Camp. And this concert will be performed at Cadogan Hall. So if you miss Stevie and Tobias being together, you can see them for one more night only, Saturday the 10th of May. And the trio is actually a group of former Wicked stars, as Kerry Ellis, Louise Diamond, and Rachel Tucker are coming together for a special performance called Gravity. This will be performed at 3 p.m. on Sunday the 31st of August at Theatre Royal Drury Lane. All three of these actresses have previously played Elphaba, and Louise Diamond is the only person who has ever played Elphaba and Glinda. And actually, this does see a reunion for Rachel Tucker and Louise Diamond, because while Louise Diamond was Glinda, Rachel Tucker was her Elphaba. So it's cute reunion there as well. But the three of them will be performing a bunch of different theatrical songs. It doesn't seem like they're limited to just Wicked, but they are leaning definitely into the Wicked marketing of it all. And I'm sure they're going to do some big defying gravity moment. I'm sure of it. So if you'd like to catch them on stage, that is 3 p.m. Sunday, the 31st of August at Theatre Royal Drury Lane. Let's head on now to our miscellaneous news. First off, let's talk extensions. Obviously, I've mentioned Starlight Express, but we also have Operation Mincemeat, which has had their longest extension ever, now extended to the 15th of November 2025. We have Hamilton, which is extended to the 28th of March 2026, and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which is extended to the 30th of August 2025. Alongside that, they have announced a new scheme where 200 tickets every single Thursday are anchored at £40. So if you want to grab some great seats for Benjamin Button, you can grab those ones. They are called the anchored seats. We also had a bunch of cast albums come out, like all the same time. I think 3 of these came out on the 14th and 1 came out on the 15th. And these cast albums are Why Am I So Single?, The Book Thief, Maybe Happy Ending, which is technically a Broadway show, so I don't know why I'm covering it, but I listened to it and I really, really liked it actually, and I would love for it to come over here, so I'm going to give it some time. And we also have a musical that I was emailed about called Totaled, which is a folk rock thriller musical, which is starring and written by trans performers. So obviously, you know, I'm going to give it some time here and platform it. All of these cast albums can be found wherever you get your music, across YouTube, Spotify, other ones. I don't know any other ones. I'm working my way through listening to all of them. I need to listen to The Book Thief next and Totaled. I'm slowly getting through it. I'm not really a cast album girly too much, but a lot of these shows are like some of my favorites, so I'm like, yes, I need to. So if you like to relive any of that music, or if you missed that music, and I mean, in the case of maybe Happy Ending, that show is still open, so if you're not in the US and you want to get a taste of a Happy Ending, there we go. You can go and listen to all 4 of those cast albums now. We also have an official broadcast date for Big Night of Musicals. This will be broadcast on BBC One on the 22nd of March at 6:30. This was filmed in Manchester early this year and features performances from Hercules, Calamity Jane, Mean Girls, Cabaret, and more. As well as that, I told you Next to Normal will be coming back because it has been announced that the UK version of Next to Normal will release its pro shot on PBS's Great Performances on the 9th of May 2025. Now, if you can't tell by that, PBS, that's American. We don't have PBS here. There are currently no UK release plans for this, which kind of sucks, seeing as this is literally a pro shot that is a UK version starring a UK cast, except for, well, one, and I guess there was more Americans in that cast, but I mean we've claimed Trevor Dion Nicholas for our own, and happened in like a UK theatre, filmed in the UK, and has no UK release plans, which kind of is a shame. It's a little bit of a shame that America gets it first. I feel very similar to this as I did to Heathers, where I'm like, hold on, why are you guys getting it first? That feels a bit rude. I wouldn't complain if you guys are getting your pro shots first. Why are we not getting our pro shots first? But, you know, VPNs exist. So if you have a VPN and you're free on the 9th of May, you can catch the pro shot of the UK version of Next to Normal on the 9th of May. If you don't have a VPN, I'm so sorry. That is it for miscellaneous news. Let's move on to transcendent new productions. Let's get through this. First of all, we've got some further tour stops for, firstly, The Bodyguard, which has announced that in addition to Birmingham, Blackpool, Oxford, Aberdeen, Milton Keynes and Zurich, it will also be touring to Munich, Southend, Manchester, Truro, Sheffield, Wimbledon, Berlin, Frankfurt, Southampton, Sunderland, Belfast, Leicester, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Llandudno, Bradford, Liverpool, Norwich, Woking, Plymouth, Nottingham, Cardiff, Newcastle, Dublin and Eastbourne. Some of those are not English places. Frankfurt, Munich, they're German, right? They're both Germany. What are you doing in my UK Theatre News recap? Well, I guess if any Germans are watching, Guten Tag. I'm trying to pull out my GCSE in German. Ich bin im die Kino. Oh, ich bin in the Kino gegangen. That's past tense. I'm bad at German. I haven't studied German in like 7 years. Oh god. So if you live anywhere near there and you want to catch The Bodyguard, you can catch it at all of those venues, as well as some new venues for Matilda, where they've announced some further tour dates. These are tour stops that run past April 2026, so you have got a little bit of a wait until Matilda comes close to you, but the Matilda UK tour will be going to Southampton, Bristol, Birmingham, Norwich, and Milton Keynes. So if you like to catch Matilda and you don't want to travel to London, you can catch it at those venues too. Next up, we have A Christmas Carol, which has announced that it will be returning for its 9th consecutive year. This production has constantly come back every single year to the Old Vic and will run once again from the 12th of November to the 10th of January 2026. So if, like me, somehow you have still not caught this production of A Christmas Carol, you can do it again. You've got another chance, don't worry. We also got quite a cool announcement that we are getting an Artemis Fowl musical. This workshopped itself privately on Friday and is being based both on the Walt Disney film and on the novel. This is not a Disney theatrical musical, but it is being done by special arrangement with Disney Theatrical, seemingly. That's what I'm getting from that wording. And, very interestingly, is being directed by Scott Graham for Frantic Assembly, which means that this production will likely feature a lot of physical movement and a lot of physical theatre that Frantic Assembly are very often known for. So keep your ears out for some further news about the Artemis Fowl musical coming soon. Question mark. Next up, we have 4 shows announced for MT Fest. This is returning this year from the 4th to the 17th of April at the Other Palace. The 4 musicals that you can catch this year in shortened workshopped versions are Love Can from the 4th to the 6th of April, More, which is a reimagining of Great Expectations from the 8th to the 10th of April, Nerds, which I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Nerds has been featured in a previous year in MT Fest, so it's returning to MT Fest, from the 11th to the 13th of April, and Theatre Mum from the 15th to the 17th of April. So if you'd like to catch any of those shows, workshopping themselves, you can catch them this April at the Other Palace's studio space. Let's speak about a couple more UK tours. First of all, we have Slover's Snow Show. This is a production created by a troupe of clowns, which launches into what this press release describes as full throttle madness, and was recently seen in the West End. Now it'll be travelling across the country, going to Cardiff, Manchester, Nottingham, Richmond in London, it's returning to London, Birmingham, York, and Bradford. So if you are near any of those venues, you can catch a little bit of clownery then. And the next UK tour we'll talk about is Eddie Izzard, who is returning to do her one-person Hamlet on a UK tour. This will be opening in September this year in Tunbridge Wells, and then we'll visit Edinburgh, Newcastle, Leeds, Stockton-on-Tees, Shrewsbury, Northampton, Norwich, Salford, Oxford, Portsmouth, Brighton, Bury, Liverpool, Cheltenham, Bristol, Colchester, Coventry, Poole, Exeter, Hereford, Winchester, and Hull, alongside a stop in London. So if you live anywhere near there and you want to see Susie Eddie Izzard playing all 23 characters in Hamlet, you can catch them there. So as that, we got an announcement of a revival heading to Southwark Playhouse Elephant. This is My Family, which is being directed by Vicky Featherstone and will play off West End from the 23rd of May to the 12th of July. Getting through these very quickly, we have House of Life, a one-of-a-kind cabaret theatre show hosted by the glitter-clad Raverand, incredible, whose sole mission is to achieve happiness by any means. This is a piece that was seen earlier last year at the Fringe and has also been seen in London, and will now be going on a worldwide tour with 4 unique London tour stops announced as part of this. It will be kicking off at the Soho Theatre from the 26th to the 31st of May, and then we'll be going to Brixton House from the 2nd to the 4th of July, Wilton's Music Hall from the 10th of July, and Park Theatre on the 18th and the 19th of July. So if you like to catch this, it looks camp and wild and silly and very fruity indeed. You can catch it then. We are also getting a new premiere of a musical called Weird. This is a reimagining of Macbeth in an electrifying pop-powered musical, which will have its world premiere at Newcastle Theatre Royal next year. This retells the story of Macbeth through the eyes of the witches and will play at this theatre on Wednesday the 28th till Saturday the 31st of January 2026. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'm very intrigued by it. You can catch it then. Another new musical we have to speak about is Indigo. This features music and lyrics by Scott Evan Davies and a book by Kate Kerrigan. Indigo celebrates the bonds that unite a family and tells the story of 3 generations of women navigating their need to reach one another. This will play in the Studio Theatre at the Leicester Curve from the 26th of June to the 19th of July 2025. As well as that, we have a new immersive show, which is called Storehouse. This will be one of the UK's largest scale immersive theatre shows, taking place in a 9,000 square metre space in Deptford. And Storehouse will hold up to 3 performances per day from the 4th of June to the 20th of September. So if you'd like to catch this, you can head over to the Deptford Storehouse from the 4th of June. Going from immersive theatre to Disney, a big tonal shift, we have Disney in Concert, The Sound of Magic, which will be touring the UK next year. This will feature songs from some classic Disney musicals, including Snow White, Moana, Alice in Wonderland, Aladdin, Jungle Book, Frozen, Lion King, Fantasia, Encanto, Beauty and the Beast, and more. This show will be touring to Manchester, Birmingham, Edinburgh, York, Sheffield, and London for tour stops through February. And then in May, it will come back and visit Glasgow and Liverpool. So if you'd like to catch Disney in concert, you can catch it at any of those tour stops. How about another tour? You want another tour? I'll give you another tour, Women in Black. One of London's longest running plays is returning for another UK tour, opening at the Story House in Chester on Wednesday the 24th of September 2025. The production will then tour on to Shrewsbury. It will then go to London's Alexandra Palace for a 3-week season, and then we'll go to Plymouth, Brighton, Richmond, Bath, Darlington, York, Glasgow, Birmingham, Chelmsford, Oxford, Poole, Liverpool, Nottingham and Guildford, with further venues and casting to be announced soon. So if you missed the Women in Black in the West End, you can go and catch it on tour later this year. Another tour that is going on tour is The Lightning Thief. Yes, this musical, which has been having a very successful run at the Other Palace, will be going on a UK tour starting this August. So there will be a little bit of crossover with the London production and the tour production. This will be opening at the Theatre Royal Windsor from the 15th of August, and then we'll go to Newcastle, Milton Keynes, Liverpool, Brighton, Stoke-on-Trent, Coventry, Bradford and Wimbledon, alongside more tour stops to be announced soon. So if you can't catch The Lightning Thief in London, you can catch it at any of those tour stops. We just got a couple more shows to talk about now. We have Starter for 10. This is a musical that we first saw at the Bristol Old Vic last year, and they have announced that Starter for 10 will be returning to that venue alongside a new run at the Birmingham Rep Theatre later this year. Mel Goydrich will be returning to the production to reprise the role of Brian's mum, and Julia Bland. So if you'd like to catch this musical, it is returning to the Bristol Old Vic from the 10th of September to the 11th of October, and then will play at the Birmingham Rep Theatre from the 22nd of October to the 1st of November 2025. As well as that, we have a West End transfer for Till the Stars Come Down. This was an acclaimed production at the National Theatre last year. It was nominated for Best New Play at the Olivier's last year, and will be having a full West End run from the 1st of July to the 27th of September 2025 at the Theatre Royal Haymarket, and will also feature on-stage seating throughout the run. So if, like me, you missed it at the Dorfman, you can catch it in the West End later this year. Next up, we have a new Goes Wrong show. One that we've seen in a slightly different format, but never on stage, and that is Christmas Carol Goes Wrong. Mischief have announced that Christmas Carol Goes Wrong will be having a short UK tour alongside a West End stop. And this will be a full stage version of A Christmas Carol Goes Wrong, which has previously been seen on screen as part of a TV movie made for the BBC. It's very likely that this new stage version will be an expanded version, but feature a lot of similar gags from the BBC film. Christmas Carol Goes Wrong will open from the 2nd of November 2025 at the Lowry in Salford, and then we'll go to Cheltenham, Cardiff, Bath, and then head into the West End, where it will run at the Apollo Theatre for a 7-week season from Saturday the 6th of December to Sunday the 25th of January. And then it will continue on tour in March, which is weird timing, I've got to say, to do A Christmas Carol. But to be fair, it is going wrong. And what is more fitting for that than it not playing at certain venues around the festive period? From March 2026, it will play in Nottingham, Aylesbury, Edinburgh, Glasgow, and finally the Marlow Theatre in Canterbury. So if you live anywhere near there, you can either catch Christmas Carol Goes Wrong around Christmas or way after Christmas, if you are so inclined. And finally, in news this week, we have to speak about The Greatest Showman. It has been whispered, heavily anticipated, that The Greatest Showman will be making the move from film to stage. And the first steps for this production have officially been announced. As in spring 2026, the show will open at the Bristol Hippodrome, following in the footsteps of other Disney theatrical productions that have tried themselves off West End at that venue. This show is being written by Benji Pasek and Justin Paul, who obviously previously worked on the music of the film, and is being directed and choreographed by Casey Nicholaw, who you may know from his work on Book of Mormon and Mean Girls. So if you would like to be one of the first people to catch a taste of what the Greatest Showman will look like on stage, you can head over to the Bristol Hippodrome in spring 2026. And let's be perfectly honest, it won't be too long after that it will transfer into the West End. Possibly the Theatre Royal Drury Lane after Hercules? We'll have to wait and see. But that is all of your theatre news this week. What are you most excited for? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me, it helps the channel. Here's some links to some other videos on the screen right now and a link to my Instagram if you'd like to drop me a follow over there. There's some other social links and a merch store in the description down below. But that's it for me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!